For 28, I'd say Kyrie is a pretty accomplished player in the NBA right now, considering all that he's done up to where he's getting to now. And even now when you hear people say or when I hear people say, oh, Kyrie's not a born killer, he's not a leader of men. So what? I mean, he's still pretty young. I mean, he was young for most of his career. He's finally 28 now, and now he has a chance to really be someone to be looked up to in the NBA, because I mean he's always been that young guy. How you guys doing? It is July 15th, 2020 here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and today for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to get into Kyrie Irving. I think Kyrie Irving is a very elite player, probably one of the more elite players that I've seen in my lifetime. And love him or hate him, I think you'd recognize him as an elite basketball player right now. If you're aware of Kyrie, you know that he's a 28-year-old point guard. He stands at 6'2", 195 pounds, and as of right now, he's on the Brooklyn Nets. He hasn't really played a lot this season, but with the games that he did play, he was kind of balling. So, for those that were following him through high school, you know that he was the top recruit coming out of New Jersey. He was the top. He was one of the first in Coach K's recent era of one and done, just top recruit draft picks. He was probably the original. If there was someone before him, I don't know, but Kyrie was the first big one to make it big in the NBA. Like I said, he went to go play at Duke. He only started 8 of the 11 games that he played. He finished with 17.5 points, 4.3 assists, 3.4 rebounds, shooting 53% from the field, 46% from three, but he did that in 11 games. I guess he did enough to be all ACC after playing in 11 games. But from there, he was good enough. He was a good enough prospect to be taken first overall in the 2011 draft by the Cleveland Cavaliers, and immediately really kind of started making his impact. His first season in 2012. With the Cleveland Cavaliers at 19 years old, Kyrie started all 51 games he played. He finished with 18.5 points, 5.4 assists, 3.4 rebounds, or 3.7 rebounds, shooting 47% from the field, 40% from three. All that while averaging 30 minutes a game. Even though the Cavaliers I think they finished 21-45. They were 13th in the East. Kyrie Irving still won the Rookie of the Year that year. And he earned that. Of course, he made the All-Rookie team. Of course, the Rookie of the Year makes the All-Rookie team. But at that point, he had asserted himself as the best young player in his class, even though he had only played 11 games in college. The Cavaliers were right to pick Kyrie Irving number 1 overall in the 2011 draft. In his second season, in his age 20 season, he let the NBA know who he is. He started in all 59 of the games that he played in. He finished with 22 points a game, almost for 3.7 rebounds again, and 5.9 assists a game, 1.5 steal, 45% from the field, 39, whatever. But he clinched his first All-Star game, or that was when he made his first All-Star game. And he was the 3-point contest champion. The NBA knew who Kyrie was, and at 20 years old, Kyrie was a star. In his third year in the league, at 21 years old, he started all 71 of the games he played in. He averaged 21 points a game, 6 assists, but yet again, the Cavaliers were 10th in the East. They finished with a 33-49 record. Their team was abysmal. It was completely trash, but that was the last game before LeBron got there. But up until then, by the time LeBron got there, in his first 3 seasons, by the end of that, Kyrie was a 21-year-old point guard who had already been a 2-time All-Star. So it's not as though he had done nothing before LeBron got there. And he was only 21 when he got there, so he never really got the time to really grow up with the Cavs. But still, the year LeBron James got there was in 2014-15, and Kyrie was 22 that year. He started and played in all 75 games while averaging 21.7 points from points. He averaged 3.2 rebounds, 5.2 assists, shooting 46% from the field, 41% from three, 86% from the free throw line. Yeah, and then at that point, Kyrie had made his third All-Star game in 4 years. He was named to all in the NBA All Third team for the he was named to an All NBA team for the first time in his career. He was named to the All NBA Third team, and the Cleveland Cavaliers that year would go on to beat the Celtics in the first round. They finished second in the East. They beat the Celtics in the first round. They beat the Bulls in 6 in the second round. They beat the Hawks in the conference finals 4-0 when the Hawks were the 1 seed. And they ended up losing to the Warriors in the finals after Kyrie had injured himself in the very first game. But, they lost out on that. But Kyrie had done it. Kyrie at 22 had gotten himself to being like a very important member of that roster. And once he went out, the Cavaliers lost the finals. I feel very confident in saying that. In 2015-16, Kyrie Irving missed the All-Star game that year because he played 53 games. He missed a good chunk of the beginning of that season because he was still hurt. He still finished the season with 19.6 points, 3 rebounds, 4.7 assists, averaging 31 minutes a game in his effort to get back. He missed the playoffs that year, but eventually the Cavs would go. They would finish first in the East. They would sweep the Pistons in the first round. They swept the Hawks in the second round. They beat the Raptors in 6 in the third round, and they would go down to beat the Warriors 4-3 in the NBA Finals after originally being down 3-1 after 4 games. Kyrie Irving would go on to average 35 points a game at 23 years old in the finals, almost Dwayne Wade-esque. But he was doing what he was doing, and he hit the jump shot over Steph Curry. Yes, the game was tied, but he still could have missed the shot. He made that shot. He drained that shot over Steph Curry. No one had scored after that, and the Cavaliers had secured Game 7, and they won it. That was officially the game that was the game in which LeBron had cemented himself as the greatest of all time. And that was the year Kyrie Irving had cemented himself as a Hall of Famer. Yeah, he missed the All-Star game that year, but I'd take a game-winning 3 in the playoffs after averaging 35 over an All-Star appearance any day. To me, that's his symbolic championship. That's a symbolic All-Star game because he deserved to be recognized as one of the league's elite in 2015-16 at only 23 years old. That was his age 23 season. Then in age 24, his age 24 season, he played that entire season. He started all 72 games that he played in his last year in Cleveland. He finished that season averaging 25 points, 3 rebounds, 5.8 assists, 1.2 steals, shooting 47% from the field, 40% from 3, 90% from the free throw line. In his last year with LeBron, he really did all he could, did his best, got him to the playoffs, and then that year they would go on to beat the Pacers in the first round 4-0. They would beat the Raptors in the second round, or sweep the Raptors in the second round. They beat the Celtics 4-1 in the conference finals, but they eventually lost to the Warriors in 5 once the Warriors acquired KD. After that, Kyrie Irving had said that, at that point he was 24. He had already won a championship. He was an all-star 4 of the 6 years he'd been in the NBA. In one of the years, he won the finals. So he was an elite player in the NBA for 5 of the 6 years he'd been there. And he'd been in LeBron James' shadow. That was the first time he averaged over 23 points a game. In that season, they lost to Kevin Durant. At that point, Kyrie decided, I wanted to go play on my own team, want to be the best player on my team. He decides to go to Boston. 27-18, his first season in Boston, he starts all 60 of the games that he plays in. He averages 24 points, 30.8 rebounds, 5.1 assists, a little over a steal, all while shooting 49% from the field, 41% from 3, and 89% from the free throw line, kind of up to what he was doing in Cleveland. That year in 2017-18, they would, if I remember correctly, because Kyrie Irving got hurt. They played against the Bucks. they beat the Bucks in 7. They lost to they beat the Sixers in 5, and they ended up losing to LeBron and the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals in 7. Because I remember it was really missed out because people wanted Kyrie and LeBron to play together, but Kyrie definitely got hurt, and the Boston Celtics definitely had a very good run that led them into the conference finals for them to lose to LeBron this season, in LeBron's last season in Cleveland. In 2018-19, in Kyrie's age 26 season, he played his last season in Boston while he started in all 67 of the games that he played in. He finished averaging 23.8 points. He averaged 5 rebounds, 6.9 assists, a steal and a half, shooting 49% from the field, 40% from 3, 87% from the free throw line. And I'm pretty sure and then the Celtics go to the playoffs. They'd sweep the Pacers in the first round, then lose to the Bucks in 5. At that point, Kyrie Irving had said he was going to go to Boston, or not Boston, he was going to go to Brooklyn, team up with Kevin Durant in the offseason. And even by then, at that point, Kyrie Irving had been an all-star both seasons in Boston. He already had a championship under his belt from when he was 23. And at this point, he has 6 all-star games in 8 seasons. And then coming into this last season, Kyrie only played the first 20 games in the season, and then he was out with a knee injury. But boy, was he hot. He was hitting it. He averaged 27 points a game, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, averaging 33 minutes a game, kind of doing his thing. He wasn't playing, but he definitely was showing the NBA what he had ready at his disposal. And I mean, even with this game, he's opting out till the end of the season. He's not going to pick up his basketball shoes and play another NBA game again until the next season, which I feel is fair, it's probably smart. But I mean, if you're Kyrie Irving, looking back at your career, and Kyrie is 28 years old, just looking back, he has 6 All-Stars. He has an NBA championship in which he hit the game-winning shot, the series-winning shot, the last shot of the season. He was an All-NBA second. He was an All-NBA third-team player back in 2015. He was All-NBA second team in 2019, his last year in Boston. He was the Rookie of the Year. He was the All-Star Game MVP in 2013-14. He has a long, industrious career. He hasn't fallen off. If anything, his last season would have shown that he would have been a lot better. And then consider the fact that the next time he's gonna step on the court again, he's gonna have KD with him. With that, they're gonna be instantly favored to win the East, even over Giannis and the Bucks and Jason Tatum and the Celtics. With the young team that they have, I feel like putting Kyrie at point guard for that whole situation that'll end up being a very scary ordeal. And with that, I think he's a player that if you move him to any other team, he changes the balance of the force in the NBA. And just for that reason alone, I think Kyrie Irving should definitely be recognized as an elite player. I can't really look forward or just give you hypotheticals about his future, but I can tell you as of right now, with everything that he's done, Kyrie Irving is an elite basketball player. Still in the midst, I think he's still climbing to reach his very top, but he's still an elite level player. I don't know how long it's going to last, but for this season, I'm telling you, right before the season starts, or before this next season starts, just get a chance to see Kyrie Irving for what he is. And thanks for listening to all 14 minutes of this. You get a chance, peep my boy. He wears number 11 for the Brooklyn Nets, already has a championship under his belt. He has nothing left to lose anymore. So I think he's just going to enjoy the rest of his NBA career, see if he can win with KD, and go from there. Without further ado, peace out, and peep my boy Uncle Drew.